You ain't got time for dueling? You do now, where you going? You ain't got time for dueling? You better make time! Oh, caution thrown to the wind from this guy. And that's what these two guys are doing right here. Clicking and holding against one another and trying to whittle their opponent's life total down to 0. Jeep off doing it. Oh my God, huge comeback from 1. Beautiful chain from Toshank. Just keeping the pressure up and constant damage. Look at this. We got some more lates in to do, boys. Welcome, welcome, you absolute savages. Primo! Holy shit, man, 23 months at the S tier, my dude. Holy shit. What a guy, man. That's so wild. That's so wild. 23 months. Can you believe it? Time flies, brother. Big cheers to you. Wow. Actually incredible, man. S tier at that. By the way, what's going on, guys? What's up? Nightfall, Bankai, Pope, Wicked One Ball, Nimrod. What's going on, guys? Rental, Jorge, Brody, Toshank, the man, the myth. Damn, who's that noob necro Toshank changer? Jeez, I don't know, man. I don't know. I hope, you know, I don't think we're going to see any chains tonight at the title bout. You know, those stupid characters that just don't teleport, man. What the hell is with this? Do they even play Diablo if they're not using Enigma? What is this shit? Oh, man. Well, regardless, that one's gonna be nuts. Welcome to DFC 147, guys. It's gonna be a show. Dazer on the late shift today. He's working till 2 a.m. EU time. So that means it's basically he's coming on prime time in the Americas, okay? Gonna be up a little later, but speak of the legend, right? Toshank defending his title on the H-Din versus Dazer on the Zon. Dazer, an absolute legend. This guy has proven over and over so many times his skill on the Zon. I would say overall, this guy's performance in DFC history has probably been, it's probably pretty easy to say now, top performing Zon of all time. And that comes on the heels of him at one point being one of the top performing Sin players ever. So, needless to say, this guy just plays all of the asinine classes that nobody wants to duel against. However, Toshank is going to be trying to put a stop to the hype train. Dazer coming to challenge for that title, and Toshank going to do it on an H-Din, all right? He's hoping to shut down the Dazer like he put an early stop to Muchez. He's looking to show that this guy has what it takes. Now, granted, with Dazer not really teleporting away too much, I wouldn't imagine, unless he's got tele charges on his amulet or something. No telling what's up his sleeve. But regardless, Toshank's going to be forced to get in there and deal with the impeccable aim of Dazer, cutting his angles, throwing around that Juck trickery, and whatever build trickery he might have in mind. The only official rules for this matchup, as you see the little stars by the players' names are no grief, no impale. That's usually the rules for this type of matchup, but under DFC rules, a lot of fuckery can go down on both sides. That's the thing. So it's basically no holds barred out there. These guys are going to duke it out for the HLD title, and you know what? I'm excited. I know some people might not be too thrilled about this match, but goddamn, dude, I think it's going to be fireworks. Yeah. I honestly don't know if I can make it. I have a very important duel at 8 p.m. that I must finish. And if I don't, he can have the belt. Don't care. Anyways, good luck, people. Bandit out. Well, I hope you kick some ass early at 8, all right? It's regardless. And look, we'll actually, I'm gonna show you guys. This is how I would do it, all right? I'm not up to the title. But, you know, look, if Toshank don't make it, I'm going in and it's going to be me and Dazer, all right? And I'm going to fuck him up, all right? I hope, anyway. I think I can do it. I'll show you guys my tricks, all right? If I had to pull it off, I've got, some call it cheese, others call it superior din design, all right? Superior din design. Yeah, by the way, what's up, Root? Hey, good to see you back, man. I was wondering if we would hear from you with the Sorceress change. You might have noticed the title of this DFC here, sort of a little indicative of the changes to the Sorceress. Now, in case anyone doesn't know, isn't familiar, right? We do need to update the actual showy rules that we show off. Didn't really have time to do that, but there has been a change. And if I was thinking ahead, like a pro streamer would do, I would have pulled this up on screen for you. But instead, I'll just tell you about it. All right? There's a change to the energy shield restrictions of the Sorceress, or the Sorceress in general, really. A lot of people complain about a variety of things with Sorceress matchups. Oftentimes, especially depending on the build, they're really not the funnest ones to watch. But through a lot of research, a lot of anecdotal feelings, combined with testing over multiple weeks of different facets of certain Sorceresses, the real problem is the block. The duels where block chance is high are often the ones that are miserable, right? And they shouldn't be. A whole different dueling strategy could be implemented to the Sorceress's success. So what we've done is essentially given the Sorceress overall the same block that the Necro has, 30%. That's now her cap. But as a trade-off, we don't like adding rules without crossing other ones out, right? We don't like more rules. Less rules is better, all right? So what we did was we crossed out the cap for ES. Now, with limited block, it's going to be hard in a lot of circumstances to make the infamous Immortal Sorceress a miserable build to duel against, right? The original reason for the 88 ES cap in the DFC. That's now gone. You can go to 95% ES if you'd like, and especially in some caster duels, yes, that will be equally, if not more, miserable. But hopefully with the smart matchups in the DFC, we don't see any of those. Right, they likely won't happen. For example, Necro, right? It will, you basically can't die on an Immortal Sorceress versus a Necro. You would have to legit lag out of the game and take several Bone Spirits and Bone Spears consecutively to die versus a Necro. But, I mean, hey, look, there's other ways. There's other ways to take down those Immortal Sorceresses if you're on a Necro, so I guess only time will tell. But regardless, that's a big change for this week, and hopefully going forward, we're going to see. Give it some time. We also are allowed to use mana pots on an ES Sorceress now, if and only if your ES percent is 80 or below. If you're above 80, you can't use mana pots. Yeah, so if it's a low ES just for added protection, whereas you lose block, you know, you can afford yourself a little bit of tankiness, you know, without giving up too much. However, if you start pushing it above the 80%, it's mana pots at that point basically become healing pots. So can't use them. Yeah. And a lot of people see that. Yeah, I see what you're saying, and there's a lot of people that are they often associate ES with all versions of ES, and trust me, they are not the same, right? just because a sorceress uses ES doesn't mean they abuse the ES. Abuse of the ES is probably over. That's when you're over 80%, you're really trying to stack up your survivability at that point. Yeah. You sure can take him out on a Necro, you just have to cheese him a bit. See, yeah, Squigs is a pro. I was gonna say, I almost corrected myself. Like, we've seen it in the past, right? But I believe you went up against a full Vitasaur, which is a little different. But regardless, you can cheese a little bit by using Poison Nova. However, an Immortal Sorceress can also adapt to this. I can't wait. I'm putting my Immortal Sorceress back together, and I will never die to a Poison Nova Necro. I can promise. You could one me right away, no fucks. Like, we ain't dying to it. It's it's crazy. Yeah, necks shaking in their boots. But yeah, man, it's not just the infamous nasty title match I hope we get to see tonight with the legendary Toshank versus legendary Dazer. And in case you guys didn't know, Toshank, this guy's got nothing to prove. This guy went on, what was it, a 12-streak title defense, biggest one in DFC history by far. The legends are true. The legend is here. But damn, son, what a match. And then Wolf Barb at the top, now defending his title for the first time against a Savage that he hasn't seen in a while. The score between these two needs to be settled. Okay, these guys are 1-1 in their DFC career, and they meet again at the top. Who's going to pull this one off? Who knows? Wolf Barb, this guy is an absolute savage. Been running this build since way before it was cool. Since the days of melee dueling in LOD, this guy was rocking the Wolf Howl and being one of them trans druids, getting in there, chucking them claws, right? That's what he was doing. He's been on this build for a while. He knows it in and out. And Nimrod, a quick rising star, previous champ in the DFC, and this guy's coming to get that title back. All of these guys, both of these guys, very, very familiar with the melee ins and outs, the build tweaks that are necessary, and have likely given some serious thought as to what they're going to bring to the table tonight. Then we've got GVN coming in for that title once again. Can Murder SC stop him again? We put this guy, we gave these guys some options, right? Switch it up, make it fun if you want to. Murder SC could go on the Barb, his legendary class, or he could swap it up to the Din, something that we've seen him do before. This guy has even taken on God the Bounty Hunter, the infamous high-level PKing level 30. This guy's taken him out in a pretty decisive DFC LLD title bout. Double or nothing, man. Murder SC. This guy's a dominant champion in GVN, not only a Savage Zon player, but this guy, he's got skills in LLD as well. HLD, LLD, doesn't matter. This guy decks out his builds, and he's got the inherent skills that you need. But who knows? I see multiple signups from this guy, whether I'm not sure the sort was, if that was LLD or HLD, but look, we just put him on it just in case, all right? He could bring his Zon, he could bring whatever. Would love to see Din v Zon for the title. That would, like, Charger v Zon. It's actually a fun match, man, and with someone like GVN that hits like an absolute cannon, it's a dice roll, and it's real fun, man. But then we've got Butter. This guy, finally, he's like, all right, you know what? I'm going in on a Din. That's what he signed up on. I'm going in on a Din because I'm sick of these barbarian matchups. I can imagine where the thoughts that were going through his mind, and look at this. He goes up against one of the most notorious Din players of all time, D2R PvP. And we gave these guys the option to go Din or Necro versus each other. They could do a Din v Din. They could do a Din Necro mirror. Whatever these guys want to do. Javito also, like, just weird, signing up on a Necro. Ain't never seen it, I don't think. Really, really friggin' cool, man. This guy's really branching out and showing his skill on multiple classes here. The nastiest ones. Now he's got himself what I would consider an S tier one coming in. And holy shit, should be a wild duel. Bankai versus Root. Holy shit, man. Root is back. You lift the ES restrictions, and we get Root coming back into the DFC, man. He literally, I still remember a message from this guy he sent me many, many months ago, and he says, I don't know if he meant it to be offensive or something, but I don't really get offended too easy. He said, whenever you make some real rules and put ES at 95%, let me know. Well, sure as shit, this guy don't forget. He comes right back, dude. First DFC since the rule change, and here he is. You can bet your ass this guy's on a 95 ES fireballer. He ain't messing around. This guy actually won some big tournaments back on LOD with that build. He showed how dominant it was, and he's carried those skills, that knowledge and know-how to D2R. And Bankai's got his work cut out for him, man. But he's going to be on a Sin, which could theoretically be a good answer, depending on how well you play. Regardless, in my experience, that's a very fun matchup. You know, depending on how you go about it, how you deal with the Sorceress, how the Sorceress deals with you, it's a very back and forth, skillful matchup. So should be fun to see. Can you hit 95 ES without stash buffing? You can, but you have to sacrifice some damage. Yep. Yeah, you can, but you got to sack it. It's tough though. Does require some cube pre-buff though. Yeah, it's kind of wild. I think you have to sacrifice like 6 or 7 points. Maybe less actually. Like 6 or 7 skill points, which basically takes all of your damage out of Fire Mastery. So like your Fire Mastery is the skill it comes out of. Not bad though. Yeah, it's like, it's possible. But yeah, then we got GVN, this guy making so many appearances tonight. Coming in on the Sin, this guy's always, he's like, look, man, I love the Zan, but you got to put me on that Sin. Got to get up in there. And he's going up against Medium, dude. This should be a good one. Medium making some big waves in the DFC on this Din. Fellow Din player, mad respect, bro. GVN's a savage. I hope you take him down. All right? Not that I have anything against GVN. GVN has just gone to the dark side now. He's on the Sin. He's on a Sin, and he's fucking with a Din. So one can only hope that it's at least a violent exchange between these guys. Then we've got, by request, Kin J versus Kin Jits. JV Jits in some VT versus VT, man. That's going to be nuts. We don't see enough of that. I absolutely love seeing VT versus VT. The good old VTPK, as they call it. So that should be pretty nasty, too. And then we've got Lamp versus Jeff P. So many other ones, fellas. This card is just fucking wild. I say we get in there. Let's check it out. Let's get ready. All right, and while we're in here, let's just pull up the official rankings. I like to show this off at the top of the rip here, just so that we know, just so we're on board, just so that for history's sake, this is what we're looking at. Oh, it's not VTPK? Oh, shit. All right, well, Din v Din, regardless. Yeah, this is what we're looking at. Toshank, the champ. Dazer, #1 contender. And look at this. Polytheist, I think we haven't seen him in like a couple of weeks, I want to say. And this guy's still just tearing it up. #2 contender with Lamp right behind him. Literally, the top 5 is a crew of absolute savages here, right? Vito, Butter, nasty players, Lamp, Poly, these guys, the 2 boogeymen of the DFC, the ones that as you're climbing up, you don't really want to run into them. They don't have the builds that most people run, and that you certainly have to come in prepared for. Just an incredible distribution of savage players at the top, man. And yeah, that's what the rest of it looks like. Just nasty. I mean, holy, these guys, easy, just Sorb. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's what we want to see, man. That's what the world wants to see. I heard VTPK, and I was like, let's get up in there, man. Let's make this happen. I was so excited about it, you know. But hey, regardless, when we see Dins jamming, we get after it, dude. That's just how it is. I also see some people fired up in the Discord already. This is nuts. Is this a Vito and Butter just fucking throwing down right off the rip? Holy shit. All right, yeah, these guys are getting it. Hold on, let's get in there. I see Javito fired up. You might be able to see him in the background here. Yeah, we're gonna have to check this out. Give me a sec. Let me get this all loaded up here. Bill should have had this going, but we did keep him on. We kept him on board, guys. He's all right. You know, he's not a bad guy. He gives us free gold every once in a while. Regardless, it's time for some violence, boys. We've got Javito on a Necro. the class he signed up with, and this guy's ready to throw down. Let's fucking get it. All right, boys, and we're off. These guys in the Bloodmoor, look at this. This is going to be, I think, is this the first time we've seen Javito on a Necro? If it's not the first time, it's certainly a rare occurrence. Oh my god, and look at this, dude. Butter coming in on that Din. Dude, Butter on a Din. This, I'm actually so pumped to see this. I didn't know if these guys were going to do a mirror. I didn't know. But you know what? This is a fun one, and also a very good introduction to the Necro for Javito. If this truly is his first competitive play in the DFC, Butters is savage. He's got nasty chains. He's got nasty aggression. He knows the game in and out, man. And by the